Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you all so much for your support and your interest in what we've been doing with the mare behind me. And today we're going to give her a bath as we spoke about, and we're going to give her her new identity. Well, actually, with Rupert sitting just down there, and he's going to pull the name out of the hat. So I think we'll do that first, and then we'll take her out and we'll give her a nice bath and make her feel fresh. So let's have a look. Do you want to, you're going to do the honours? Okay, hold on. Right, you've got to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, right. Let's mix them up. And these are all your lovely names that you've given us, which we're very excited about. Some lovely ones in there. We thought the fairest way of doing it was a name out of the hat. So all you got to do is put your hand in there. Just wriggle about. That's it. Like that. Yeah, and then just pick one. There we go. What's it going to be? Ginger.
There you go. She likes that as well. She looked over.
Cool. So yeah, thank you all very much, and Ginger it is. So we'll get her out now, and we'll take her up and we'll give her a bath. But yeah, it's been just great. Thank you for all your support and encouragement. Your lovely words on all our posts, they mean a lot to us, and yeah, without you guys we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So thank you very much. Keep supporting, keep spreading the word, and good things are happening, so thank you.
What is that? What?
All the crabs are gone. You did all that, didn't you?
Yeah, if you put the toes on them, you can actually catch them. They stay still.
So at the moment we've just got this hose rigged up, and it's running from our little outside utility room, so it's warmish water, so it's nice and comfortable for him. So she's having a tepid bath. Okay, Charlie, if you could turn those off. I guess one of the saddest things is though that when they were being competed and they were everyone's interest, that they were being bathed, you know, once a week or at least once a month if they were going to shows, and they get used to a really high level of pampering. So for these legends, I think it's actually worse, because I'm not saying every horse isn't, you know, horses are well cared for, but these superstars, where they're competed at a high level, their level of care definitely reflects the professional environment that they're in, and they're used to jumping, going into the wash bays, going into solariums, being pampered, and generally there's just a much higher level of care for the top horses. So yes, every horse, you know, well cared for horse is going to be used to this sort of stuff, but they really miss it. It must be so, it's hard enough for them just ending up in a field on their own, wondering what's happened and all the other stuff that must go through their minds. But it also, there must be that element that they miss the level of care and attention that they had. And as I say, I think just especially for very high-end horses, they would feel that difference, and it all goes to add to their. We speak a lot about their mental health. I know that's a big issue, or it's a big talking point in the world at the moment, but really we see a massive change in the horses in the few days and weeks, first few months that they're here. And you know, we've had them before. The last horse we got, Cinderella, her story, which we'll tell you about. She was the one from the Belgian border going for meat, but she was just completely and utterly switched off and vacant. She'd lost all her way, and yeah, it's really sad to see. But I guess the beautiful thing is that their spirit comes back, and when they know they're safe and they're safe and they're loved and they're looked after, they start to come alive again. And that's what we thrive on, and that's what really gives us an awful lot of pleasure in doing what we do, is just seeing these superstars come back and believe that life's worth living again. So it's a massive part, and thanks to the support from you guys and all the support we've had throughout, it means a lot to us, and for the horses as well. It truly is life-changing, and yeah, it's something which you get to see, and not a lot of people do. So when you start seeing them come alive, it's great. And she's not so far off anyway. Right, Charlie, if you could turn the water back on. That's your job. yeah, she's had a nice warm bath. The sun's shining, so it's a good day. Yesterday we said we were gonna give her a bath, but it was pretty horrible, the weather here. So today it's picked up and it's perfect. So we've just given her a nice bath. She'll be comfortable now. But as we were saying about when they finish their careers, when we talk about top level horses where they've been, hundreds of thousands of people might have watched these horses competing, and one of the other legends, Cantho Zed, which we'll introduce you to and we can tell you about his story. I mean, he's world famous. He's been to all the top international shows, and he's been in those arenas and in those shows where, let's say, thousands of people go to watch them. So just retirement in itself without any horse husbandry is hard enough. I know for some people you work and you retire and you think, oh, I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll keep busy, but actually retirement's hard if you haven't got anything to keep you occupied. So a real big part of the retirement process is obviously doing the horse husbandry, keeping them comfortable, making sure they're well, but also more importantly is keeping them so that they can then be mentally active as well, and that's something which is really, really important. So they miss that interaction, they miss the big events, and they don't get the big events here, but they get mental stimulation, and we try and do different stuff, and we go down the woods with them, we take them on walks, and generally keep them ticking over. But it's a constant battle just to keep an eye on how they're feeling, and moving them from different stables. Sometimes they're not as comfortable in one place as the other, so we just try and do whatever we can to make their retirement as comfortable as possible. And it's very, very rewarding. But that bit we've got to just it's really important for people to remember that in their retirement that they do miss those things, and that's a big part of why we're striving and we're doing what we're doing. Yeah, just following on, we just put Ginger away, and we were talking about Cinderella, who was the other horse we rescued from the Belgian border. She was going from France to Belgium in the meat trade, and she ended up at a depot, and luckily at the time a few very good friends of mine all stepped in, and they all clubbed together. We got a few quid together and we managed to go there and get her from this depot. And it was within a day or two of her going to the meat trade in Belgium, because apparently the meat is more valuable there. So another real shocking discovery or realization that this stuff's happening. But she's a beautiful horse, very, very friendly, very calm. She's a bit battered and bruised. She's got her poorly eye. But she was the horse that I rode out on the vlog that Sadie Petherick did, and it was she's lovely to ride. She enjoys it. She's not an everyday horse, but every now and then, again, for a little bit of mental stimulation to go and do something different is great for them. So she enjoys it. But she's one of those again, just a beautiful, lovely soul who ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we were able to intervene, as I say, with help of good people, which is what it's all about. And it's that bit which makes a difference. She's got her little companion Totty's down there the other side of the hay bale, just helping her out. So it's all about people doing the right things and changing mindsets and changing mentalities. So that's the future is all about that. And once we introduce you to a few of the other stories, we'll do more with Cinderella. We'll do a proper vlog for you guys, and we'll introduce you to each of them. But the more we introduce you and the more you can see, you'll build a picture of where we're at more clearly. Hopefully sharing it with us and see the transformations and what's possible. So thank you for watching again, and we'll see you soon. I was just talking with Jenny, she mentioned something very important, which is that these horses are, like we said, they're high-end athletes, so they're used to being in work 6 days a week, going to shows and being very, very active, and they have a much well, if you look at her, she's in good condition. Her coat's good. She's well. She's been checked by the vet, and all's well in that respect. But she's lost so much of her muscle mass. So the other thing with them just being shelved is that at the end of an active life, they go from being like the bodybuilder to the muscle wasting away. So on a condition side of it, when she first came, she was very, very skinny. Her coat was terrible. She had very bad breathing aspects, and she just wasn't a well horse. Yet she hasn't rounded up because she's not going to create more muscle. She will just create more condition, which takes a longer period. But yeah, she's well, but that's something which we'll talk about. We have a few horses with examples of that, and it's one of those things that, with, as I say, from having an athlete that's been active to then being inactive very quickly, and then from it's all or nothing. So that's a problem. But then again, it's one of those things, if they're not to be ridden or worked, then they're at rest, and then they can just develop their natural body shape. So, and the other thing is, with age comes the harder bit, where you then have the problem with that they are old, and they're in their elderly stage of their life, and so the recovery process is a lot longer. So everything takes longer. It's just like the old people's home here, really in lots of aspects. But we keep an eye on them. We've obviously got our datum from when they came, and we can see the progress or otherwise as they settle in and as they develop. And one thing which we spoke about earlier when we were bathing Ginger is that they do have that mental aspect. So when they're very, very depressed, they do lose condition, and they find it hard then to gain. So the first process is getting them feeling better and wanted and feeling a bit more alive, and then slowly good food and good lifestyle, and improvements follow. So it's a long process, but a very, very rewarding one, as we said, and that's the other another aspect of it. So Ginger's all back in, settled, just having her hay. She's had her bath, all's well. Thank you again for all your support, and looking forward to the next instalment with you, which will be coming shortly.